Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Come one, come all. Come.
I was waiting.
Girl.
I was waiting.
What I was going to say. Come big, come small. Girl, yes.
I love it.
Come one, come all. Hey, everybody. Come on in the room. As you guys come in the room, say hi to us. We will say hi to you guys. We love each and every one of you guys. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Hey.
Let me refresh my screen and bring up some comments, girl.
Look at you.
What you call this video?
Is it everything?
Is it everything?
Is it everything, honey?
Is it everything? When she say it's it, you talking about that lipstick? You talking about that lipstick?
What does that have to do with anything, Candy?
What are you doing with this lipstick? Is this lipstick everything?
You know what? I did not come over here to get ridiculed.
Is the lipstick everything? Girl, I want to know.
No, it's not everything.
What's that? The Holiday Heart edition? What color is that? Holiday Heart. Is that the Holiday Heart edition? It's the holiday.
You know what? I'm leaving.
No.
I am not going to be here at your expense.
Y'all, let me know in the comments if y'all think that's the Holiday Heart edition.
She gets on.
You know, she had a show earlier. So I didn't know that was,
Here she go. Here she go, y'all.
And she's a part of the community. So, the people in the community, girl, they do shows. You get what I'm saying? They do shows, girl. They do shows. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Well, listen. You called the video, Is It Everything?
Is it everything?
Y'all hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that like button, hit that share button so the people know, girl, we back on the page.
Yes. Matter of fact, let me do the same thing. While you asking the friends, let me do the same thing.
Yes. Hey, Angelina. Hey, Miss Ariel Duvernay. Hi to all of the best friends that are watching. Hey, everybody. Hey to all the peekaboos, girl. The people who will watch but won't comment. They don't want you to know they've seen the video. Because there'll be a lot of them people out there. Yeah. They watch the video, but they don't want you to know that they've seen the video.
They need to watch in silence.
Girl,
they want to watch in silence.
Yes, girl. Those people.
Shout out to our replay. April said the sound is going in and out on her end. Is anybody else having issues hearing us? If anybody else is having issues hearing us, put a 1 in the comments so we can know if we need to go out and come back in.
If they can't hear, they don't know that.
No, she said going in and out.
Okay.
So, it's Blinky doing.
Okay. We might have to restart the video, girl. Let us know in the comments. Can you hear? Look, I'll do the silent. Can you hear?
Angelita says she can hear.
Can you hear? Can you hear me?
That's the sign.
Can you hear me? Girl, that's the sound.
Okay. Avery and family, go out and come back in and see if that fixes it.
Girl, it might be your government phone, girl.
KR Power says she okay, so I think Avery, go out and then come back in and see if that fixes it for you.
If you still got that Obama phone, girl, it might be you this time. Yes, girl. Yeah. So anyway, so the title of the video is Is it everything? Honey? Is it everything? Look. Oh, before we go any further, people don't even know who we are. Girl, I am Candy Sincerity Johnson.
And I am Sean Johnson.
So, and together we make something. We don't know what we make. Girl.
We scrambled it together and made it something, but we don't know.
We scrambled it together, girl. But before we go further, I also want to, not only do we want to introduce ourselves, pleasure to meet you if this is your first time, but we also want to dedicate this video to our good Judy, our homegirl, one of our best friends.
Ooh.
I want to dedicate this video to Karen, K-Ron Caldwell.
Oh, yeah.
K-Ron was on the video yesterday, and K-Ron gave stars. Yes. So yesterday we came back to social media. We have been gone from this platform for quite some time. And so we came back to social media on this particular page, and K-Ron showed love and gave stars. And so I just wanted to acknowledge her, to thank her. I thanked her yesterday, but I just wanted to dedicate today's video to her, girl.
That's what's up.
Thank you for everybody who's a star contributor, girl. Because we know, girl, it costs. You know, they ain't just passing them out, put them in your bucket, and then you passing them back out, girl. It's like Halloween candy, girl. Somebody had to go pay for that, okay?
Right.
So that's just our way of acknowledging and saying thank you for doing so.
Thank you so very much.
Yes. So what I wanted to talk about today. Today's topic is very interesting, y'all. Today's topic. So the question is money everything?
Uh-oh. Is it?
Is money everything? We keep talking about money. You can't get away from it, girl. You turn on the news, they talking about it. Your kids begging, they want $5. They talking about it, girl. Your spouse complaining, she wake up, they complaining about it. So the question is money everything? Is money everything to you?
It's not everything to me. It's not everything, but it's darn important. Okay, I'll say it like that. It's not everything to me, but it's awfully important. I mean, what you gonna do without it? You gonna go and get some groceries without it? You gonna put gas in your car without it? You gonna, if you on public transportation, you gonna be able to get on the bus without it? Like, what you gonna do without it?
I don't know. I will argue, no, you can't live without it. But I would say it's not everything for me. But I would say it's not the whole pie, but it's all but one piece.
Just that one little sliver.
Can I be honest with you, girl? If I can't tell nobody else the truth, I gotta be able to tell you the
You
truth.
have to be honest.
It's not the whole pie, but it's all but one piece. Because even if your health fail, if you got you a little teaspoon of coin, you can have the best doctors. You can be seen by some of the best doctors. And you will have access to medical care and stuff that other people wouldn't have. So I'm saying, like, in any situation, it don't solve the problem, but it can definitely make it easier. That makes sense?
It gives you options.
Yes, girl. All but one piece, girl. Abby laughing at me. All but one piece, girl. So this is the type of climate. The reason why I brought that question up is because this is the type of climate, y'all, where we see people falling into depressions. We see people having self-doubt, anxiety. You get what I'm saying? There's breakdowns in relationships. You guys have seen so many public relationships that are starting to fall apart. If you guys watch La Truth and His Wife, girl, La Truth and His Wife, you know, girl, they had a little, an alleged domestic situation, girl, where somebody allegedly put their hands on somebody else in the relationship, girl. And so, this is the season where you just got a lot of people just acting out of character and just losing it.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the fact that people are really stressed out about money. So if people are really stressed out about money and you're seeing depression, anxiety, and all of these things, girl, what are we doing? What are people doing to combat some of that?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. What do you suggest?
So my thing is, I think one of the biggest things to do is when it comes to like the depression, the anxiety, the self-doubt and stuff like that, my biggest thing is if you know that you are suffering from something like that, you need to make sure that you get resources and stuff to help you through that. If it's an outside resource, make it an outside resource. If it's an internal resource like journaling or, you know, whatever type of stress relievers that you like to do, you have to be able to do something so that you can go ahead and get that out. Because if not, that stuff will bubble up inside and it will eat you up from the inside out. Like you have to be able to channel that energy some kind of way, figure out what that means for you, and get it out. If you're single, then you're gonna have to, you know, search outside. If you're in a relationship, one of the worst things that you can do is to allow that to make you turn on your partner. Like that's the worst thing, because at the end of the day, you're a unit, and so you have to look at it as you are a unit that's supposed to be attacking the problem. You can't then make each other the problem, because that's only going to make it worse.
Yeah, that's
true. That's huge. And then try to find solutions. Okay, you can do all the stress relievers that you want. You can take as many baths as you want, and get as many massages as you want, talk to as many people as you want. But if you're not trying to do something to try to find a solution to the ultimate problem, whether it is that top line, as Candy call it, which is income. If it's too small and you need to make it bigger, you need to try to figure out what does that look like and what can you do and what do you need to do in order to fix that, in order to start panning the rest of that stuff out.
Yeah. So for me, I think anxiety, a lot of people don't really realize this. Anxiety is just fear of the unknown. So all anxiety is you're afraid of what you don't know. There's stuff that's spiraling out of control. The situation is getting out of control. and you're fearful of what's ahead, right? That's all anxiety is. And so I think, even for the people who you're not seeing that are going into depression, a lot of people are fearful because they're like, I don't know what's around the corner. Yeah. If it's this bad now and people are talking about it's supposed to get worse, like that's uncomfortable for a lot of people.
What does that look like?
That's exactly. So we keep seeing all these public examples, y'all. LaTruth and his wife is just one example.
And we don't even know if it's financial. It could be financial. It may not be financial. It could be something completely different.
It might not be.
However, it could lend a way.
But then we're seeing all these other like big name social media people, folks is falling out, business partners is falling out. Girl, I'm talking about relationships is breaking down. And it's like people are getting so desperate, they're going for the jugular. I'm talking about like some of the stuff that you see on and it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's shocking.
It's eye-opening. It's eye-opening. So tough times don't always bring out the best in people. Sometimes it brings out the worst in people. And so you really have to stop and you have to just say, you know what, like there are going to be things in life that happen that are outside of my control, but I got to control the controllable, if that makes sense. I got to control as much of the narrative as I possibly can. So for the people who are dealing with the strained marriages, like I know that's been something that we dealt with in the past,
yes.
But what I was going to do for you guys on this video, and this might be a good opportunity for me to do it, is do a story time. You guys let me know in the comments if you want a story time.
Y'all know Candy do some story time, honey.
Now if I dig up under this hat, girl, and I give you an old nasty story time, I'm going to need there to be a lot more shares on this video. A lot more likes, a lot more shares on this video. I'm going to need a lot more likes and a lot more shares. But if you guys want me to give you guys a story time, girl, I'm gonna need you to rock with me because it's gonna be a long one. It's gonna be a doozy, girl. It's gonna be a doozy. But I'm telling you, it speaks to everything that we just talked about. It speaks to all of that stuff. Everybody saying yes, I agree. Yes. Story time. Y'all want story time? I need some more shares now. I need some more shares, girl. I need some more likes and some more shares. So as I'm getting into the story time, let me start by saying this. I'm not a bad friend. I'm going to tell my friend's story. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell my friend's story.
Okay.
I'm not a bad friend. I've had conversations with my friends. I've had very detailed conversations with them. They're okay with me sharing their story with the notion that their story is going to help somebody else, right? They also are okay with it, with me changing the names of the parties involved. So in order for me to change the names, I said one person was going to be Ashley. Who did I say the other person was going to be?
Was it Nikki or was it? I can't remember the other name.
Let's say Jay.
Come on, Jay. I like Jay.
Let's say Jay. Let's say Jay. Okay. So the stud is Jay.
Can't be having to write it down so she remembers.
Girl, because I be done said. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? So the stud is Jay.
Okay.
And the femme, her wife, is Ashley, girl. See, you see what I'm saying? I done already did it over here, girl. See? All right, so the femme is Ashley,
okay.
Right?
Gotcha.
So this is what happened. Hit that like button, hit that share button. Hit that like button, hit that share button. This is what happened. Story time. I get a call on a Thursday, and you fill in, so backstory. I have two best friends. Avriel, who's in the comments, and then my friend Jay is also my best friend. So when you hear me refer to my best friends, you got to figure out which one I'm talking about, right? So I talk to Jay all the time. Sean talks to Ashley all the time. They're always on the phone, whatever, right? So follow the story. Follow the bouncing ball.
Be cackling.
Yes, follow the bouncing ball. So I get a call one Thursday evening from my friend Jay. She's hysterical. We've been friends for years. I've never heard her cry. Never heard her cry. So she's crying. She's all hysterical. She's like, now keep in mind, they have kids. And their kids are around the same age as Kimmy and Caleb. So she calls me and she's like, I get a text message. I got a text message from Ashley. We were both working from home. I'm upstairs. She's downstairs in the basement. I get a text message from her. She's basically saying, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I'm going to kill myself. You can cremate me. That's it. Right? They have never had these sorts of conversations. It's not even a conversation. It's not even stuff that they play about, talk about, anything like that. So she says she has no idea where this is coming from. No idea. Blindsided. She said her wife grabbed her keys, got in her car, took off down the street, and that was it. By the time she got the text message, because she got the notification, remember, she's upstairs. Her wife was downstairs working. She gets the text message. She looks. She hears the car door slam outside. And she looks outside, and her wife is backing out of the driveway and going down the street, right? Jay immediately calls Ashley and is like, we're on her voicemail. Where you at? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Ashley's not answering the phone. The first time she calls, the phone rings, right? Ashley's not answering the phone. She keeps calling. Ashley has powered her phone off so that the cell towers can't ping her location. She does not want to be found. Right? So Ashley's looking at the time. She's got to go get the kids from school. The kids got practice. They got activities. One is in music lessons. Like, they got stuff going on. They got stuff on the calendar, right? So she freaks out. So at this point, she was upstairs working. She's standing at the end of her driveway trying to figure out what am I supposed to do? I've called her phone 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. I can't get a hold of her. I've known this woman for almost 20 years. We don't play like this. She's serious. If they don't find her, she's going to be dead. So she immediately calls the police. She calls the local police. She calls the police. She's screaming and hollering and crying. Remember, she's outside at this point. She's giving them a rundown. This is what happened. This is the year, make, and model of the car. You got to do this. You got to do that. Like, she is just in a bad way, right? So time goes on. She calls her mom. She couldn't think of nobody else to call. She calls her mom. She's like, Mom, I need you to do me a favor. Call the school. Let the school know you coming to get the kids. You're on the emergency form. Go get the kids. Let the school know you coming to pick the kids up. Get the kids. Bring the kids to me. I'll explain everything. The police are on their way to my house. I need your help. This is what she's telling her mom. So her mom is like springing into action. Her mom gets the kids from school, brings the kids to her, right? Her mom brings the kids to her. They get the kids set up in the house with the snack. Now, remember, she had already called the police to file the report. So they're dispatching resources. It's a statewide search for Ashley. It is a statewide search for Ashley, right? So she's sitting by the phone. She don't want to leave the house. What if she comes back? She don't know what to do. She feels like she's supposed to be doing something, but it begs the question, what are you supposed to be doing? What are you supposed to be doing? So by this time, Jay's mom comes. She's got the kids. They got the kids set up. They get the kids situated with their snack. And so the police pull up because, remember, they got a search party, but then they also have to dispatch an officer to Jay and Ashley's house because they need, to get a full report on record, right? So they're getting a full report on record. Now, keep in mind, Jay's mom went and got the kids. So the kids are in the house. So they're thinking the kids are upstairs playing. The kids are maybe in the backyard playing on the trampoline, whatever the kids do. That's what she's thinking the kids are doing. So because it's nice outside on that particular day, she's standing on the porch giving the officer the play-by-play of what happened. She's like, I'm trying to figure it all out. So in the midst of Ashley sending the text message, what I forgot to tell you guys is Jay had given Ashley $40,000. Well, roughly about $40,000. It was about $40,000 that she gave Ashley to invest in stock in the stock market. because Ashley had been learning all of this stuff about trading. Jay pretty much said, we got this account, we got this savings, we got this $40,000 over here. I'm going to give you this money because I know you're going to grow it. You're going to do all this stuff. Unbeknownst to Jay, Ashley had lost 30 out of the 40, right? 30 out of the 40, gone. Gone. Jay didn't even know it. Ashley had been lying to Jay for over 2 months about the whole situation. So a couple of days before all of this happened, Ashley finally sits Jay down and she's like, yo, I borrowed $10,000 from my cousin. I didn't tell you. I wanted to put some of the money back. She still was lying about the actual amount that she lost. She was making it seem like it was about 10,000, right? I borrowed 10, I lost 10, I borrowed 10, whatever. So up until this point, she still really wasn't 100% sure. Jay wasn't 100% sure about how much she had lost. Mm-hmm. So girl, I'm telling you, she lost that last chunk of money and snapped. You hear what I'm saying? From Jay's perspective, she snapped. And so, so she left. So back to the part where Jay is outside talking to the police. So she's telling the police everything. The police is taking a report. They're getting a description. They're getting pictures of her. They're talking about every single thing that happened, all of this stuff. The police officers get in their vehicles. They leave. Jay and her mom walk back in the house. Immediately after they walk back in the front door, their kids are standing there with tears just rolling down their face. Their shirts, the whole necks of their shirts is just covered with tears. Poor babies. The kids are like, Mama did that? We heard everything. We heard everything. We were in the garage listening. We heard everything. That's what Mama did. She don't want us. She don't love us. She didn't care enough about us to want to figure it out. So then Jay is sitting there trying to console the kids and trying to figure out, okay, like, well, she still don't know. Now keep in mind, in that moment, she's still not knowing, is Ashley alive? Is she dead? Like, she's not knowing, right? So she's got to be careful with her words to her kids because there's a follow-up conversation that has to take place. But Jay don't know in that moment what that follow-up conversation looks like.
Wow.
Right? So she can't promise her kids everything's going to be okay. It's going to all work out. She just needed time. She needed to, you can't say that, right? Because you don't know. So fast forward, she consoled the kids. Couple other family members come by, they're sitting with the kids. Jay can't take it no more. It's at this point when she calling me back, she's driving around, she looking for her, she contacting the police because she got the card of the detective. She's calling the police. She's like, what's the update? They still can't find her. They can't find the car. There's no sightings on any of the expressways near their house. Nothing. Cameras from intersections have not picked her up. Nothing. It's almost like she vanished. Late that night, she disappeared. She left about 3. It took until about 11, 12 o'clock that night.
Can you imagine?
The police called. She's on the phone with her cousin. She like, cousin, I don't know what these people are finna tell me. At this point, my mama done left. All my relatives done left. It's me and these kids in this house. This detective say he need to talk to me, and I don't know where this conversation is about to go. So she on the phone with her cousin who live in another state. Her cousin was like, conference me in. I can't physically be there for this call. Conference me in. Her cousin is on the phone. The detective's on the phone. The detective says, we found her, but she's not doing good. She's currently been rushed to the local hospital, right? She's currently been rushed to the local hospital. She's probably going to be in intensive care. She ingested a ton of pills, probably over 100 pills. She drank antifreeze. They found her almost unconscious in a hotel room. So what ended up happening, let me give you the backstory about the hotel room. When she left the house that day, after she sent after Ashley sent Jay the text message, she had took pills at the house. When she was driving down the street, she was drinking water, chugging pills. Drinking water, chugging pills. She stops at the gas station, it's not the gas station. She stops at a drugstore not far from the house. Cameras didn't pick it up because it's in the middle of nowhere. They live in Illinois too. So she stops at a convenience store or like a drugstore, something like that. She picks up more pills. She like, it's got to happen quick. She like walking by, she grabbed the antifreeze. She just driving and drinking and doing all of this stuff at the same time. She later tells everybody she started to get sick. She was throwing up. She was getting dizzy. She was having like delusions. She was like almost in and out of consciousness. But because she's driving, she never wanted to cause hurt, harm, or danger to anybody else. She's in this little town in the middle of nowhere. She pulls into the first hotel that she sees in this little town. She goes in, she gets a room, and she's like almost passed out in the bed in the room. There's a knock at the door. She didn't hear the knock. They banging on the door. Maintenance is banging on the door. She didn't hear none of that. Maintenance goes downstairs, get the key, come back upstairs, opens the door, busts in the room, sees her on the bed. Calls the ambulance, calls the police, calls the front desk. They don't know if she died. They don't know if she almost dead. They don't know if somebody did something to her. The paramedics rush her out of there. Question, what triggered maintenance to go check on that particular room? In the midst of her being delusional and having side effects from all of this medicine and all of this stuff that she ingested, somehow she left the water on the sink in the room. Somehow she left the sink on. She left the sink on. And it started to cause a leak in the room up under her. Now, keep in mind, when all of this took place, it was a Thursday. For the most part, this hotel was vacant. What were the chances of there being somebody in a room? Because I see what a lot of people will say a lot of people will say she wanted to be found. She did that. There was no guarantees.
Right.
There was no guarantees that she was going to be found. What was the chances that somebody would be in the room directly up under her room? That whole area was vacant. Right? So she was in intensive care in the hospital for a couple of days. So Jay was on the phone with me the day that she got discharged from the hospital. She like, I got to go up to the hospital, not only to see about her, but I got to meet with a caseworker because we got to figure out what's the next step. Mm-hmm. Like, what you not finna do is just come back up in this house like you didn't just, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We not finna, the way that we was doing stuff, that don't work no more. So, I don't know, you get what I'm saying? I don't know if you good. I don't know if you not. I don't know if we got to worry about this again. Like, I don't know where to go from here. Right? So then Jay was dealing with, and this is why I had to spend a lot of time working with her. She was dealing with the frustration, the anger, the disappointment. She was dealing with all of these things because she was like, yo, like we can clean the story up and tell the kids, you know, oh, you need the time to cool off. And, you know, you were upset about some things. You had to drive around and you knew you needed help. So you went to the hospital, you got help. We could package this story up and put a nice bow on it for the kids to kind of explain away some of what really happened so that they don't feel as bad. But you and I know, sis, that ain't how the story played out. You was legit finna leave me with these kids with no explanation, a mountain of debt, unanswered questions, a broken heart. Like you legit was finna leave me holding the bag on all of this. And so now I'm supposed to go to the hospital. You getting discharged today. I'm supposed to go to the hospital and say what to who about what. So I'm talking to her. We on the phone until she literally pulls up in the parking lot. And I'm like, you gotta love her through it. She like, what?
Who you talking about?
Are you? She like, I'm like, you gotta love her through it. You know and I know you all she got. Now what the other side of that look like, that's between you, her, God, and everybody. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I never said stay with her. But I did say you have to forgive her and you have to love her through that. That's your test.
Wow.
That's your test. So, I mean, it just was the cleanup. The cleanup. Going back to our topic for tonight, though. It's the depression. It's the self-doubt. It's the anxiety. It's all of these. It's the breakdown in communication. Because it's like, then they had to start the rebuilding process, but now I can't trust who I'm rebuilding with. So then even to this day, they'll have a good day, then it's the anger, then it's the resentment, then it's the disappointment, then it's all of these things. So then you got people going like this in the house, people going like this. How can you be productive? Let's two be on one accord. How can you be productive, girl? Unless both parties be on one accord. They fighting multiple demons. They fighting demons within. They fighting their conflict against one another. They're fighting external forces, right? Because now, not only are they rebuilding, they're rebuilding with children. They're rebuilding with debt. And they're rebuilding during a recession while broke. So it's like, yeah, did Ashley apologize to Jay? Absolutely. Absolutely. But let's talk about the aftermath. Let's talk about the aftermath of all of that. Let's talk about, for real, depression and self-doubt and anxiety and breakdown of communication and the strain on a marriage and the strain on raising kids and stuff when something like that has happened. So it was so crazy because I talk to Avriel all the time, and hopefully she don't mind me sharing this. I talk to Avriel all the time. So when Jay and Ashley went through this, Jay was okay with me talking to Avriel about it. Avriel was like, girl, I was in the military. She said, and an average of 22 people took their lives a day.
Oh, God. Wow.
She was like, so I heard stories like that all the time, but when you know of somebody who knows somebody, like, it hit different. I sat down because this is new to me, right? I hadn't dealt with this before. So that night I'm on the phone with Avriel, girl. I'm on the phone with Avriel, and I'm like, girl, I was cleaning when we started this conversation. Girl, I done sat down and pulled up a chair. So Avriel was like, yeah. She said, girl, I said, what was the cause? If you don't mind me asking, and you can think back to that time in your career, what was the cause? She said, here's what I experienced. Here's what I know. In dealing with the families working through all of that and dealing with the soldiers that did that, she was like, it was usually a few things. Number one was finances. And number two, it was a breakdown in the relationship. Somebody wanted a divorce. Somebody was cheating. It was the relationship falling apart. Them was the two main things.
Wow.
Those were the two main things. And I was like, this problem is bigger than them.
Yeah.
I'm like, this problem is bigger than them. And you start to see all of this stuff playing out on social media and people losing their mind, people drinking like fish, people having all of these different addictions and stuff. And I'm telling y'all, it's in plain sight. You remember what I told you yesterday? And I told you guys that I kept having them visions about that spirit of suicide. I had no idea when I was having them visions, it was going to be somebody that close to me. But then I kept seeing people on my timeline talking about rest in peace. I didn't know you were suffering and all of this stuff. And I was like, it's closer to home than you think. And it's always the people who you think are okay.
Yeah.
And they're not okay. They're not okay. I don't know. I feel like I've been doing a lot of talking. What you want to add? Because I know you talked to Ashley and, you might even have your own perspective.
Yeah, so my thing is I was hanging on your every word because since I talked to Ashley, I don't really talk to Jay. I mean, we all cool, but I don't really communicate with Jay like that. You know, Jay and Candy talk all the time. So my perspective is I kind of have like some backstory from the other side. So like yesterday when I mentioned to you guys when I said that Ashley was just explaining to me like it had something to do with the money, but it wasn't all about the money. And she was like, it was what the money represented. She was like, she kind of she kind of filled me in on, you know, as she was driving and what she was thinking because she was like, Ashley, yeah.
What did she say?
It was tough. So she did tell me after she left the house. So I'm gonna give you so you got one side of the story. Now I'm gonna give you the other side of the story from the person who was involved. Like it's not common that you can get both sides of the story. Of course, I can only tell you what was told to me. But she said she did. She said she was trying to do some stuff with the stock market. You know, I don't know as much as Ashley know, but she's been studying it like crazy. But she was trying to do some stuff with the stock market, and she had did some type of maneuver, whatever it is they call it or whatever. And she said it did not go in the way that she thought. You know, there's things where you can do, anybody knows anything about the stock market, you can do a trade or whatever. You think is going to go one way, it goes the other and stuff like that. So she was saying, you know, I was sitting there, Sean, and all I know is I thought that I had everything in place. I was trying to do something. I got sidetracked. That was the big thing that happened to her. She said, I got sidetracked because when you are dealing with the stock market, sometimes you got to watch that thing with a fine-tooth comb. Like you got to be Johnny on the spot.
Depending on what you're doing.
So if something changes, you can go ahead and change with it. She said that she got sidetracked. She had to make up an important phone call or something like that. At any rate, she got sidetracked. It was right before the market was getting ready to close because it closes at a certain time every day. And she said by the time she was able to get back to what she was doing, she had already lost. Like the amount of money was crazy to me. Like when she said this to me, I said, girl, what? I'm sorry. What did you say? It was like almost 5 figures. Like it was insane. And she was like, by the time I got back to the computer and realized what had happened and that market closed, she was just like, something instantly just snapped in her head. And she was like, I can't. Like, how am I supposed to explain to Jay what I have just done? After like Candy said, Jay said that she had just been honest with her or tried to tell her a few days before that she had lost some money. How can I go and tell her yet again, okay, that I've lost more money? How can I face my kids to say, hey, yeah, Christmas is around the corner. Yeah, I don't know what that's going to look like because I just lost all this money. Okay. We got bills piling up to our head. Okay. So now I put my kids in a bad situation. I put my partner in a bad situation. I borrowed this money from my cousin that I thought I was going to be able to pay back. And now how am I going to pay it back? Because now the money that I thought I was going to be making in the market and doing all this other stuff is gone. Okay. So she said literally like all that flooded into her mind in that split second. And she was just like, I can't. She was just like, I literally felt like I can't do this. I can't face her. I can't face my kids. I can't. And the best thing to do is for me to remove myself. This is the words that she said. I'm going to remove myself. And then that way, at least the money that they would get from me being gone, I ain't gonna say it out loud because you know what I'm talking about. Okay. When you put a little insurance on yourself to make sure that something is okay. Okay. She was like, at least that's the least that I can do is once I'm gone, they can get that and they can at least try to rebound and restart. Can you imagine how she felt thinking that was the only choice? That was the best choice?
Okay, so let me ask you this. Now, this is something that I never asked Jay because I let her bring up the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't lead with the conversation. I let her lead with the conversation because I don't. Although there are certain aspects of the story or what happened or what's going on with them that I want to know, I try to tread lightly.
Yeah.
Did Ashley ever give any indication that she had been thinking about it? Was it like a split second thing, or this is something that she had been planning or plotting in her mind?
No, she had not been planning and plotting. Like, she said that it was rough. Like, she had thought that, maybe something needs to happen or needs to change, but never to that extent.
Okay,
Like,
what you mean something needs to change?
Like, something needs, like, she was just like, I feel like I'm just going down the wrong path and something needs to change. But she didn't really go into it. I couldn't really pry, or like you said,
you gotta take what you get.
Like,
you gotta take what you get, girl.
But it wasn't like she was like, okay, on Sunday she wrote out her plan. On Thursday,
right,
once the market closes, I'm going to, like, she never, like, it was nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
Because in my mind, hindsight is 2020, right? Like, so everybody is looking like, well, you know what I mean? Like, what are the signs? I guess that's what I'm getting at. Like, what are the signs, right? Like, so you thinking everybody is cool, and then
sometimes there are no signs. That's the scary part for the outsiders. Sometimes there are no signs. You hear all the stories and people be like, I didn't understand. Like you just said, people on social media was like, I didn't know you was suffering. Like I didn't know what was going on.
There was a young man at a local church. I mean, I think he was young. I don't know him, but I think he was just younger than me. Like,
yeah. So sometimes there are no signs. Sometimes there are, and sometimes you be looking like you ain't see, like, but sometimes there are no signs at all. So she shared with me when she left that house. She did say that she cut her phone off, and she said she cut her phone off because she knew. And this is how you know, like when somebody is dealing with something. And they're normally strong. They normally got it together. They're normally, you know what I'm saying? Because it's those moments of logic that sneak in there. They'd be like, "You thought about that in that moment?" And she said she didn't want to be located, and she knew that if her phone was on, like you said, it pings off all the cell towers. So they're gonna be able to find you in a split second. The moment you answer the phone, or the moment you use your GPS, or the moment you go into your social media, like anything, they're gonna be able to find you where they are. And she said she did not want to be found because she knew that if she was found, then it wouldn't go the way that she wanted it to go at that moment.
Rochella, let me pause you there. Rochella said, I thought if you did that, you didn't get an insurance payout. So this is from two people who have worked in the insurance industry. Now those two people didn't know, right? So that's a question that I had as well. It depends. Long and short answer is it depends. There's some policies that have a clause that say if you've been insured with us for X amount of years, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, then you can do that and we'll still pay out.
Yeah.
Because the notion is you were fine when you got the policy. You're not going to be walking around with thoughts like that for no 2 years, no 5 years, no 10 years. You get what I'm saying? And so there's some policies that will pay out, but there's some policies that won't pay out. You got to know whether you got a policy that will pay out or won't, and what's the period. I don't know what they call that period, but what that period is.
Yeah, and sometimes I would caution you probably not to call your insurance agent and be like, hey. Right. Because then they're going to be looking at you with the side eye like.
Girl, the police will be at your door.
What you talking about? But read your policy. All the information is in there. Like if you have an insurance policy, read it. They're called exclusions. So if you read the exclusions, it'll tell you. Adrian said the military insurance payout.
Yeah.
See,
that's what she told me that I was on the phone. She was like, girl, that's why they do it. She said, because they know they're going to get their family is going to get, I think she said 300,000, something like that. She was like, so a lot of people think, let me just go ahead and take one for the team. And they think they're being brave. They think
like the sacrificial lamb.
Exactly. They like, you're going to miss me and you're going to be hurt. But at the end of the day, you're going to be better off. That's the mindset. That's all I'm saying. People be thinking, going back to what we said, and then I want you to finish your story. Is money everything? No, but it's a lot. It's a resource. It's a tool. And try to go through life one day without money and see where it gets you. You get what I'm saying? And so it's like, you think about the devastation or how far people go when money is bad.
Yeah. From like Candy said, from harming yourself, harming others, getting into crime. People started doing all types of stuff, trying to make $1, like, what have you.
Break-ins, like, I mean, I'm talking about, girl, the story time we got, girl,
it's a lot. So
that's your story.
Yeah, so she said she cut her phone off because she did not want to be located. Like, at the end of the day, that was it. And she said that she just recalls, in taking the medicine and drinking the antifreeze. I was like, girl, antifreeze. And like I said, I didn't want to ask questions. Sometimes you can be like, girl, like, what?
I thought that killed you instantly.
Well, clearly she's still here. So no, I'm thankful that she's still here. But so she said that she just remembers driving and just saying that she didn't want to hurt anybody else. See, it's that logic creeping in. Like, it's not making a whole lot of sense, but them little lines of logic keep creeping in every now and then. She was like, I didn't want to hurt anybody else. So she said her main thing was her trying to control her car, making sure that she didn't cause an accident. She didn't hurt anybody else, because at the end of the day, she just kept saying, like, she literally said she was driving and saying, just me, just me, just me. Like, she just did not want to hurt anybody else. Like, she just wanted to make it somewhere, somehow, and it just be her. So that's how she said she ended up at the hotel, because she was like, okay, I gotta get off the road because it's getting a little hazy. I'm getting sick. I got to do something. And she was like, she was in the middle of nowhere. She didn't know where she was. She told me she didn't even know where she was until she was in the hospital. Like, the next day, after she was in ICU and stuff like that, she actually really realized where she had been and where she was. But she just said that's how she ended up at the hotel. She was like, she wanted to go somewhere where she could just lay down, let everything take effect, and it just be over. And she did tell me, she was like, I don't remember. She said, I don't remember turning that water on. She was like, Sean, when I tell you, I don't know how that sink got turned on. I don't remember going in the bathroom. She said the only thing that she does remember, because it was kind of real in and out, she remembers getting into the room. She remembers turning on the TV. She remembers going down to the vending machine down the hallway. You know how hotels have like the ice machine and the vending machine? She remembers going down to the vending machine to get something else to drink, because all she could taste was the antifreeze taste, and she was trying to get rid of that so she could lay down and go to sleep. But she don't remember going to she don't know if she did I use the bathroom? Like, she has no idea. She has no idea. And like Adriel said, that was God. Like, I told her, like, I feel like, because who turns on the sink and stops it up? Usually when you wash your hands, do you close the sink off? Do you stop the sink off? No. Like, why would you close the sink off? It makes no sense. So for whatever reason, she pulled the stopper to stop the sink up. And that's what caused maintenance to come up, because it was water like all over the floor in the bathroom and coming out of the bathroom and everything like that. So I had to ask her, I said, well, did you, because this is what I've heard sometimes from some people, is when they try to do that and then they wake up the next day, they be like, damn it, I'm here? Like, what the heck? So I had to ask her, like, once you got to the hospital and you woke up the next day, or whenever it was that you woke up and realized that you were still here, like, did you regret it? Like, how did you feel?
Yeah.
And the only thing that she's told me, that she said that she felt relieved. She did not regret it. She wasn't mad that she was still here, if I can put it that way. She felt relieved, but she was also afraid. She was afraid of what that meant for her, mentally, because she had never done anything like that. And so now she was afraid, because she was like, what does that mean? Like, is something like truly for real wrong with me? Like, so she was dealing with, okay, what does this mean for me moving forward? What does this mean for my family? What does this mean for everything? And so she was just like, she was relieved, but she just was afraid, because she didn't know what this meant from here. What does this look like moving forward?
So remember I told you I had called Jay, and me and Jay talked until she was in the car. Until she was in the parking lot at the hospital when she was going to go in. So I told her, I said, I'm going to pray with you. Let's pray. And then I said, go take care of business. And when you get back in the car, call me.
Mm-hmm.
She got back in the car. She called me. She said they sat for like an hour
Mm-hmm.
and didn't say anything.
Mm.
Right? Like, they have been together for longer than we've been together.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They've been together for a little bit longer than us. So imagine something like that happening to your spouse, your partner. You need to see them. You have to see them. You have to lay eyes on them because you got to know that they're okay. But then the minute you see them, then what? Anger hit. She said anger hit instantly. Because then it was like, okay, at first it was like, I'm anxious. I got to know you okay. What happened? I need to see you. When somebody says your partner, your spouse is in ICU, that's serious.
Yeah.
That's right before toe tag. So she didn't know, is it going to be tubes everywhere? Are you going to have all these IV poles? Like, are you going to be strapped to a bed? Like, what's good? She didn't know. She was afraid. So she said, when I seen her, I was relieved. But then she said, I felt anger. Because I thought you literally was about to take this problem and drop that shit off in my lap like that with no explanation. And so she had to work through a lot of emotions because Ashley wasn't in no position for you to just be, what you finna go up in there and go off? And send her ass over the edge again? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like everybody was telling her, make sure you good. Don't be angry. And she like, okay, hello?
What about me?
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. I gotta process this too. What does that look like for me?
Yeah.
Not only do I have to hold myself up, I gotta hold up these kids too.
Yeah.
And everything that go along with that. So it's like, girl, they went through it. They went through. They are, Ashley has, and Sean could talk more. Ashley has made a recovery.
Yeah.
She's still in therapy. You know, they still, I guess together a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But
you know, it's one of those one day at a time type of things.
You know what I'm saying? But, depending on what doesn't happen that day, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's one of those situations where there's a lot of rebounding.
Yeah.
Families were involved. Like there's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot. You see what I'm saying?
That situation doesn't just stay here in the palm of your hand.
No.
Like, it branches out.
No, girl.
It branches out. So yeah, but yeah, she is in therapy. She's going to a counselor. And so, I check in with her, to see how she's doing, how she's feeling. And she said it's ups and downs. She has good days, she has bad days, she has tearful days. She's some days she's like, okay, I'm good. But she was like, it's one of those things where you have to be honest with yourself and just be like, I'm not okay. And she said that was one of the hardest things for her to admit to, because she was seen as the strong person. Like she had it together. And for this to happen to her, that was one of the hardest things to admit to herself was, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. And I need help. And I got to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Angelita said, what are they doing now? So, I think they're trying to work on their marriage. Mm-hmm. Nobody's filed for divorce or anything. They're trying to work on their marriage. When I talked to Jay in the very beginning, all she talked about was, I don't want to do this no more. Like, I've been lied to for months. Mm-hmm. I've been betrayed. I've been, she was like, there's a such thing as you can go too damn far.
Yeah.
And like, what's the point of no return? And so she was just like, I feel like if I stay in this marriage, I'm losing my dignity, my self-respect. I am devaluing myself by staying in this marriage. That's what she felt like in the very beginning. But the more time went on, the more she started to, the more that wall of anger started to go down, and that opportunity for forgiveness started to go up, right? And so it further complicates things because they have children. So naturally, the children knew, without knowing the whole story, that there was conflict.
Yeah.
And so the kids naturally wanted their parents to stay together. And so the kids were very vocal about that. You know, we don't know what's going on. You saying this, you saying that, you know, whatever. And you keep kids out of it as much as possible. But you know the beginning of the story where the kids heard, you know, Jay talking to the officer and stuff. And so it's one of those situations where it's like, you know, the kids were very vocal, like, this is all we know. Like, we got to stay together as a family. We got to figure this out. And so Jay, being the kind of parent like me and like Sean very much, we'll do anything for our kids.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, and I'm not trying to put words in Jay's mouth, but just based on what she shared, Angelita, if I could suggest, I probably would say maybe in the very beginning she stayed to keep the kids quiet and to keep the peace and to make them happy and try to get things back to normal. But I think every day over time, it becomes more about, I'm here because I want to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like when I talk to her now, I hear a different tone in her voice. It's not so much anger. It's more hurt. You know what I mean? It's more, she's working through those stages. And like I told her, I said, you know, the stages of what you're going to have to go through are very similar to the stages of grief. You're going to have to do a lot of work on your own.
And they can repeat themselves.
Exactly. And so it's cool that Ashley's in therapy, but like I've told her, you got to talk to somebody. The kids might have to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And then y'all might have to all come together and work through some things, because, you know, there was a lot of damage done. So, you know.
April said, how are you guys? Helping them through this is heavy. Emotionally, how are you guys doing?
You know, it was very heavy. It was very heavy. Thank you, Bessie. I mean, you check on me all the time. You know, to walk somebody through it is a little bit easier than walking through it yourself, if I could be honest, right? You know, it's almost like when somebody, if you guys have ever been there for like a good friend, they lose a parent, you know what I mean? It hits you hard, but girl, that ain't your mom, that ain't your dad. You know what I'm saying? When you sit in it and it's you, the coach always got the easier job, right? The coach always got the easier job, but the coach's role is so essential in the game, is because if you're in the game, you can't see what you need to do. You think you know, you think you can, but you can't see what you need to do. It's that bird's eye view.
Yeah.
It's that different perspective that is able to help make them small tweaks to get you to the next level. So I would venture to say, best friend, that my role as her support system, as Jay's, you know, best friend, I would say that it's easier than actually being Jay. Because if I could be transparent, I don't know how she's able. It's nothing but God's grace that allows her to get up every single day and face tomorrow. You get what I'm saying? Because she got the weight of the world on her shoulders. She's a provider. She's very much so like me. She's a provider. She's a provider, you know, and so putting her in a position where she can't provide, or when, you know, resources are limited or whatever's going on, that's tough.
Yeah.
You know, that's tough. You know, and in the midst of everything, Ashley's not working right now. So then you throw that in the mix. So it's like, you know, like now you done chop the income. It's a lot. It's a lot, right? It's a lot. So,
and I think for me, it's difficult when you're trying to support somebody like that, because sometimes there's times when you feel helpless, because sometimes you don't know what to say, you don't know what to do. Like, should I be saying something or should I just be listening right now? Like I don't know, you know. So for me, it was very heavy, because it's one of those things where you look at it like, man, like you was a strong friend, like for real, like dang, you know. And so for me, like, it does take a toll, but you have to make sure that you take care of yourself at the same time. So, you know, I'm available to her, but if it gets too heavy, I have to be like, girl, I need to let me take a break for a second, because like they always say, you can't pour from a cup that's empty. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's too much for me because I'm dealing with my situation and then I'm trying to help you through yours, like maybe I ain't got nothing to pour out today. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know. Angelita said we need more of these talks. I really enjoy just being able to listen to different situations and hear everyone's take as well as help someone who could be dealing with this now. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's why, and I kept telling Sean, I was like, I feel like we need to talk about it and tell like the whole story.
Because you mentioned it, but it was kind of like here and there.
Exactly. And then I was just like, you never know who might be dealing with that. Right? So I always like to give you guys homework. Here's what I would do. If you're in a relationship, you're in a romantic relationship, you're married, you dating somebody, whatever, you're in a relationship, or maybe you're single, but you have really close friends. Share this video with them. Bring this up. Give them the high level version, right? Bring this up. And then after you bring it up, pause and ask them, have you ever thought about? Just open up the conversation. Open up the conversation and open up the lines of communication with people that are connected to you.
Because you never know. That person may have been waiting for that one little white flag to be waved, and you could be that white flag that could change somebody's whole perspective.
Yeah. You just never know. You never know. But yeah, I know a couple people did say this is a lot, and how are we dealing with it? The best thing that you could do is just be a listening ear, because one of the things that coaching has taught me over the years, and I know it's different because I'm not a therapist, girl. I'm claiming it, girl. Please, girl, that is exhausting. I don't know how them people do it. But one of the things that coaching has taught me is everything don't require an answer. Sometimes the best solution is just to listen. Just listen.
Yeah.
Girl. And so oftentimes I'll just listen. But like Sean said, I got to be in a position where I can listen, right? I can't, I have a business. We have businesses that we run. We have kids and stuff. Like I can't take from what I have to do, in order to listen. But yeah, you listen. You just make yourself available, because I believe this is why I only have a handful of friends and I'm not taking applications. Is because I believe in showing up for people the way I would want somebody to show up for me. I show up for people the way I want people to show up for me. And so that's it. I just listen. Yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, so I'm going to say this, and I don't know if anybody that is watching this video right now or who may come across this video and watch it that is in either of the positions that we're in, Ashley's, Jay's, Candy's, mine. So if you're on the support side like we were, or if you're in the situation.
If you're in the storm.
Know and understand. And I know somebody has probably said this to you, and it probably sounds cliche, but I mean this from the bottom of my heart. That is not the answer. That's one. Two, it gets better. It may not seem like it, because understand and know, when you in the trenches and you in that storm, honey, and you can't see nobody's sunshine, you can't see an end of the cloud or nothing like that, and you be like, there is no other way, it passes. Because I tell people all the time, think about the last time you were in a difficult time. You got through it. Think of the last time you were sitting there like, oh my God, this can't get worse. It got better. Like, it's hard, and I know it's hard, but the best thing to do is find somebody that you can talk to, be it a family member, be it your partner, be it a professional, be it whoever. Find someone that you trust, that you feel like you can talk to, because if you don't and you hold on to all of that and you just keep it inside, it's going to bubble up and it's going to come out in the worst way possible.
Yeah, you don't know how it's going to manifest. You don't know how it's going to come out. Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. So, yeah. Michelle said, "Be still and know that I am God."
Yes.
And this too shall pass.
It will.
It is. It
will.
is. But and he, baby, when God said, "I'm not ready," you ain't going nowhere. He wasn't playing with her.
Not playing with her.
He was not playing with her. And I don't know, I don't know what the future holds for her. I don't know what she's supposed to be doing. But baby, if that was not confirmation that her assignment is not done, girl, I will call for you when I'm ready for you.
Ooh, child.
I will call for you when I'm ready for you. Who do you think you are? Wow. You know how many people have asked for another day, another opportunity? They got cancer, they laying on their sick bed. All they want is an opportunity to just spend more time with their family, with the people that they love. God is saying, who do you think you are? I gave you something and it wasn't enough for you. So what you gonna do? You gonna throw that back in my face? Like, right. No. Oh, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. But yeah.
So it's something. It's something that she's supposed to be doing somehow, some way. And I hope that she figures out what it is. And that's the crazy part, because sometimes you never even know what it is that you're supposed to be doing. It can just fall into your lap one day and you be like, dang. Mm-hmm. In retrospect, now I understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah. But I wonder, side note, and then we could be done. Because I don't talk to her like that. I wonder, like at any point in time, if she was going through that process and she was doing all of those things and she was taking the pills and taking the drink and really, really, really going through the actual act. I wonder, did she think about Jay?
Wow.
Did she think about Jay? Did she think about the kid? Like, did she think about them? Did she see them crying and all upset and hurt? You know what I'm saying? Like, did she? Wow. I don't know. But baby, if y'all have not shared this one, I don't know what you waiting on. Thank you to everybody who shared the video. You guys, make sure you keep your notifications on. We will definitely be back. Yes. We're going to be back. We're going to be live. We're going to be having conversations. This is the place where we will talk about the what and the why. This is the place where we will talk about what's going on, why it's going on, and all of that. Right? If you're trying to figure out how do you get out of that position, how do you get to the next level, how do you improve your circumstances, how do you get the step-by-step, the actionable stuff that's going to move the needle? Go to my website, CandySincerityJohnson.com. CandySincerityJohnson.com. That's my website. That's where you're going to find all of the digital books that we created. They'll walk you through the steps, how to start a business from home, how to improve your money, your personal finances. Or if you want to book a call with us, if you want to book a call with me, if you want to get on my calendar, you can book a one-on-one consultation call. Those are the resources that we have for you guys. Yes. So that's the how. That's the place for the how. This is the what and the why. And to have those deeper dives. And I know that there will be opportunities for you to ask Candy questions on this platform. But like Candy said, to really get into the nitty gritty, that's where you go to her website, the CandySincerityJohnson.com website. Yesterday, I told you that we were working with the whole calendar piece for the consultations with her. We got that together, so that's up and running. So everything is fully available there. So definitely check out the website. Even if it's not for you or you know someone else, pass them the website link. If you know somebody that's trying to start a business, if you know somebody who's trying to figure out, what do they need to do as far as having like a website or something like that. Because I think one of the misconceptions of e-commerce is everybody feels like it's always, I got to be selling like what we do, handbags. No, e-commerce can be anything. It can be you having baked goods. It could be you providing a service. It could be like you do hair or you do lashes or you do massages or whatever. So e-commerce is not just
selling a physical product. Okay. So that's one thing because I think that's a misconception. Because when you bring up e-commerce, people be like, I ain't got nothing to sell and I'm not trying to sell nothing. No, it's not just that. But let me tell you how having a website is critical. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for that, if you're looking for, ideas of what you could do to start, like all that stuff, that's there. Like I said, and if it's not for you, still take a look at it because you know somebody that could benefit from it, and just pass them the link and be like, here, take a look at this.
I will venture to say, if you only have one stream of income, there's something on that website for you.
Oh yeah.
One stream of income is too close to no streams of income. One in this climate, baby, nobody should have one stream of income. You got to have something else. And I'm not saying go get another job, and I'm not saying start a business, because starting a business is not for everybody. But one stream of revenue is too close to zero. It's too close to zero. You have to have a plan to be able to generate revenue in other ways. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. We absolutely love you.
Yes.
We love you, love you, love you. Make sure your notifications are on. We will definitely be back. You got anything else?
I don't.
As we always say, the best is yet to come, but baby, we got some internal work to do. Love you guys.
Good night, guys.